live. So here's what we're going to do today. Today is 2/25/21, right? So today what we're going to do is we are going to be finding zeros of polynomials by factoring. Okay? So there's a couple of ways to do these. One, you could graph it, and the zeros are the x-intercepts, okay? But another way to do it is by factoring, okay? And factoring is kind of nice because factoring will give us the exact answers. Sometimes the graphing won't give us the exact answers. So, same as always, I'm going to write this on here, and that we, if we can, we always common factor first. If you can, right? I mean, sometimes you can't common factor, but if you can, it sure makes the problem much easier if you can common factor, okay? So I look at all three of these terms, and what first thing I notice is that I can take out a common multiple of 2, and they all have at least an x in common. Does that make sense? 2 will divide into all three terms, and all three terms at least have an x, okay? So what we're trying to do by factoring is making it simple, okay? So then I'm going to have an x squared minus a 6x plus a 9 equals 0, right? And then that should factor again, because I know 9 times 9 is 3, right? And if I go -3, -3, I'll get a -6. So I'm going to do this again. X minus 3, x minus 3 equals 0. And I know for sure that there's got to be 3 answers, right? There has to be 3 answers because it's an x cubed, and we're going to get 3 answers because we're going to have our little mini equations, and we will get 3 answers. Now, 2 of the answers are going to be the same, but we still get 3 answers, okay? So if we 2x equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0, and x minus 3 equals 0, we're just going to solve our mini equations, right? Divide by 2, divide by 2. My first answer is 0, okay? Plus 3 plus 3, plus 3 plus 3. Now, graphically, when you get a problem like this, here's what happens. So, as I go and graph this, and you can check this out on your calculator, it's going to look like this. It's going to go through 0. It's going to go through 0, okay? And then it's going to go through 3. But I want you to watch this. It's got to go through 3 twice. So how's it going to go through 3 twice? It goes through it again. That's what it means by having it happen twice. That's called a double root. And a double root makes it go through it twice in the same spot, which means it really kind of like changes it, makes it go back up again. Because it goes through and then back up, okay? Does that make a little sense? And you can put it on your calculator. You can double check if you want to. You can take a look at it. Oh, I forgot to put an equal 0 here. Silly me. Put an equal 0 there, okay? Slide that up. Example 2. All right, always common factor first. I think they all have a multiple of 4, don't they? So I think I can take out a 4. I'm going to be left with an x squared minus a 10. Oops, x4, my bad. 10x squared plus 9 equals 0, okay? I think that'll factor again, right? I think I can go x squared, because that's going to make the x a 4th, right? And then I'm going to go 9, probably 9 and 1. 9 and 1 will make a 10, but I'm going to go -9. I'm going to go -9, -1. -9, -1 will make a -10. -9 and -1, okay? Now, I can factor again. Sure enough, one more time I can factor again. Factor again. So I'm going to have, this will factor into a x plus 3, x minus 3, right? X plus 3, x and x makes x squared, plus 3 minus 3 makes the negative 9. And this one will factor again as well. X squared minus 1 can factor into a x and then a plus 1 minus 1, okay? Now, I need 4 answers, right? I need 4 answers for sure. I need 4 answers. And I'm going to get 4 answers out of this. I'm going to get 4 answers because I've got my mini equations. Now, the 4 doesn't have an x, okay? So that's not going to be a mini equation, right? You okay with that? There's no x with the 4, so we're going to ignore it, okay? So I'm going to go x plus 3 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0, and x minus 1 equals 0. And then the mini equation is pretty easy. Plus minus 3 minus 3. First answer, x equals negative 3. Boom. Plus 3, x equals 3. Boom. Minus 1, x equals negative 1. Boom. Plus 1, x equals 1. Boom. So I got 4 answers, didn't I? And if you were to graph this one, it would look something like this. It would look like this. 1, 2, 3. It would look like this. So that you can see that at negative 3, negative 1, 3, and 1 and 3, right? So what these are basically x-intercepts, aren't they? And again, you don't have to graph them, but if you did, that's what this is going to look like. Okay, example 3. Here's what happens. We're going to first need to bring the 14 over. It has to equal 0. It must equal 0. Okay, it must equal 0. So I'm going to bring the 14x cubed over. I'm going to put it right in there because I like things to be in what we call, you know, in order, in standard form or descending order. So to bring it over, I have to subtract it. Agree? I got to subtract it. So we're in algebra 2. I can just bring it over, and you guys know what I'm doing. We're not in algebra 1. I don't have to show that step. So I'm going to go 2x to the 5th, subtract 14x cubed, plus 24x equals 0. Okay, so now I've got it equal to 0, right? All right, step 1. What can we do? Common factor if you can, right? Always common factor. And what I notice is that we can take out a common multiple of 2 and we can take out an x, right? All right, let's see if that's going to help. So if I take out a 2x, I'll be left with an x to the 4th minus a 7x squared plus 12, okay? This should factor, right? Multiples of 12. Let's use 4 and 3 because that'll make a 7, right? 4 and 3. 4 times 3 makes a 12, but 4 plus 3 makes a 7. But I need a negative 4, negative 3. So I'm going to go, okay, 2x, and I'll go ahead and x squared. I'm going to go minus 4 and a minus 3 equals 0, okay? All right. We're definitely in algebra 2 because these are big problems, aren't they? We're not in algebra 1 or geometry anymore. So this one will factor again, but this one won't because this is going to be x plus 2x minus 2. So I'm going to factor this one again. Factor one more time. I'm going to factor this 2x is there. I'm going to have a x plus 2x minus 2. And then this one will not factor again, but I'll be able to solve it with a mini equation. Okay? How am I doing? Okay? All right, now, mini equations, right? So I have a 2x equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, and I'm going to put that up here because I just need room to solve it. So I'll go x squared minus 3 equals 0. Okay? How am I doing? Okay? So mini equation is pretty easy. I do know there's going to be 5 answers. Okay? I know 5 answers for sure. Let's see if we can get 5 answers. Divide by 2, x is 0. There's one answer, right? Minus 2, minus 2. X equals negative 2. There's my second answer. Plus 2, I get x equals 2. There's my third answer. Okay, now, we're going to solve this one. We're going to go plus 3, right? And then I'm going to square root it. And this is where graphing will not get you these answers. So if you graph these on the calculator, you can get some of these answers on the calculator, but not always. So here's what happens. We get x equals, well, the square root of 3, hold on, square root of 3 is this ugly answer. I don't want that ugly answer. Okay, 1.7320508808 plus, that's not even really the true answer because this number keeps going on and on and on forever. I like square root of 3. Let's leave it as square root of 3. But there's supposed to be two answers, right? How you doing? Yeah. Are you with us? Yeah. All right, I'll grab a chair. Cool. Good enough, yeah. All right, grab a chair, okay. So then I'm going to go plus or minus. So there's all of my answers, okay? I'm going to go and get you some notes and then update. Catch up with them. I had the wrong page, didn't I? There you go. Okay, turn the page. So I did get 5 answers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Turn the page. All right. Example 4. Same thing. What we need to do is have it equal to 0, okay? Up here it must equal 0. Okay? So, here's my x to the 4th, right? You guys see my x to the 4th? So I'm going to bring the 16x squared and put it right there. It must equal 0. So I'm going to have 0 equals 2x to the 4th minus 16x squared plus 32. Okay? So brought over, put it in the middle because they have to be in order. Okay? Now, I think I can common factor. Do you guys see something? Do you guys see a 2 in there? So let's take out a 2. Let's common factor. Always common factor. So I'm going to common factor. So I see a 2. Let's take out a 2. Let's see what I get. X to the 4th minus 8x squared plus 16. Okay? I think that'll factor again because I know 16 is going to be 4 and 4, right? 4 and 4 does make an 8. I like that. I'm going to go negative 4, negative 4. Negative 4, negative 4 makes a negative 8. So I'm going to go x squared, x squared. I'll go negative 4, right? These will factor again. Both of them. Both will factor because they're the same. I can make that x plus 2, x minus 2, right? So I'm going to factor this into x times x plus 2 minus 2. I'm going to factor this, x plus 2, x minus 2. And then I've got my answers. I've got many equations. X plus 2 equals 0. You guys are probably skipping this step, aren't you? Edie, are you skipping this step? Pretty much, yeah, I know. Me, I just show every step, right, because I'm the teacher, but I would have skipped this step too. Because you already know the answers, don't you? Once you get to here, you know the answers. But I'll show every step because I'm the teacher. So then I get minus 2, minus 2. One of my zeros is negative 2. Plus 2, plus 2. One of my zeros is positive 2. Minus 2, minus 2. One of my answers is negative 2 again. And then plus 2, plus 2. One of my answers is positive 2 again. Okay. Graphically, you've got doubles, right? So graphically, this one, and you can put it on your calculator if you want to, but it looks like this. It looks like this. Goes through negative 2, goes through negative 2, twice. Right here, it's got to go through negative 2 at the same time, so that's why it goes back up. Right here at positive 2, it's got to go through it, got to go through it twice, so it goes through it, touches it, goes through it again, it goes back up again. And again, if you get bored, you want to take a look at it and graph these, you can, but that's exactly what it's going to look like, okay? Isn't that amazing? We can do these in our head because we're so smart. Okay, example 5 is like Jeopardy, okay? It's like Jeopardy. We're going to go backwards, okay? Here's what we know. We want to take our answers and make them look like a problem. Okay, we want to find the polynomial. So here's what we know. Third degree, which makes sense because I've got 2, I've got 3 answers, right? So I do know that there is an x that equals a 1/2, and there's an x that equals a negative 1/2, and there's an x that equals a negative 3, okay? So we're going to go backwards. We're going to take it from our answers back to our polynomial. Well, this isn't too hard. So what I have to do is put it in this factored form. So I'm going to multiply first. Multiply up the 2 here. I'll do the same thing here. Multiply up the 2, right? Let's multiply up 2, so I get a 2x equals 1. Here I'll have a 2x equals negative 1, okay? And this is I'm going to bring over the 3 in a second, okay? So now, again, in factored form, see it's like factored form like that. That's what I want it to look like. So now I'll bring over the 1. So how do I bring over the 1? I subtract 1, right? Minus 1 to both sides. All the 2x minus 1 equals 0. Ah, we're getting somewhere. I got to bring over the negative 1. How am I going to do that? I'm going to add 1, right? So I'm going to make a 2x plus 1 equals 0. And then same thing on the negative 3. Bring it over. I'm going to add 3. X plus 3 equals 0. Okay, so now it's like this. We've got the mini equations. We just have to put them all together into a polynomial, right? So we're just going to put them in with parentheses. So we're going to say, okay, here's my answer. I'm going to say P of x equals, because it's a polynomial, P of x equals, well, a 2x minus 1, a 2x plus 1, and an x plus 3. And we're going to stop there. I don't need you to multiply it through that times that, that times that, that times that. Because if you make a mistake, you already have the right answer just in one form, okay? So here's our homework for today. And I'll help you. I want to make sure everybody gets the homework done today, okay? We're going to do page 83. Out of our journal, we're going to do 1 to 10 all. And our extra is number 14, okay? All right. Let me stop my recording.